So last September, the president issued a proclamation proposing a $100,000 fee on certain H-1B petitions. SAAJCO is part of the legal team that's challenging that policy in federal court. The administration relies on Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, a provision that allows him to restrict entry when it is found in the national interest. To use that authority, the president is supposed to make findings that H-1B workers threaten our national interests. Unfortunately, those findings have made claims of widespread fraud and displacement of U.S. workers. And while our lawsuit was limited in our ability to challenge those findings directly due to the Supreme Court's ruling in Trump v. Hawaii during his first term, they are at least worth taking a closer look here. In particular, the administration leans on selective and outdated data, ignoring the broader trend that unemployment in tech has actually been declining. Over the past two decades, US-born workers in computer and math occupations have grown by more than 2.7 million jobs. That reflects expansion, not displacement. The wage suppression arguments don't hold up either. H-1B workers are required to be paid the prevailing wage and often are paid equal or higher wages in some of the most highest paying jobs in the economy. And finally, the president falls back on a familiar narrative that H-1B workers, mostly of whom are Indian, are low-cost replacements to outsourcing firms. But the evidence doesn't show widespread displacement. In fact, anything restricting these workers are pushing companies to move those jobs overseas. Moreover, Congress has already acted and addressed these concerns. The H-1B program includes prevailing wage requirements, numerical caps, and enforcement mechanisms specifically designed to protect U.S. workers. What this proclamation does instead, it hits sectors that are already facing real workforce shortages, like hospitals and medical systems, especially in rural areas, which includes one of our plaintiffs from North Carolina, where it may take several months to receive critical care by kidney specialists. It impacts public schools like our plaintiff in a tribal school in South Dakota who heavily relies on the H-1B program to meet its teacher shortages, and universities and research institutions that depend on specialized talent. It's also important to remember that for many skilled workers from the global south, the H-1B program is the only employment-based pathway to the United States. And yet it has been singled out for a level of scrutiny that doesn't seem to be applied to comparable visa categories. So the question is, what's driving that? We can't ignore the South Asian dimension of this issue or the rise in racialized rhetoric that has come with it. Reporting from Stop AAPI Hate in the New York Times shows that between 2023 and 2025, anti-South Asian slurs tied to targeted violence increased by 115%. Today, nearly 80% of anti-Asian rhetoric is directed towards South Asians. Research from the Center for the Study of Organized Hate shows that narrative framings of Indians as invaders and job thieves, along with calls for deportation, appeared in 474 posts and generated more than 100 million views in the 2 months just preceding the proclamation's issuance. So the attack on the H-1Bs isn't just about a visa program. It sits within this broader narrative about who belongs in the United States, and it reflects the same underlying theories driving challenges to birthright citizenship.